Hi, this is Brian with The Balanced Dog, and today I want to talk about corrections or consequences. Something you don't hear me talk much about, but they are vital to a good training strategy or regiment or whatever you want to call it. But my whole philosophy is that, I want to teach the dog what I need it to know through more direction than correction. So I would like my ratio that I like to focus on is 95% direction, 5% correction. So in the beginning, not really many corrections because regardless of the dog's issues, because I'm out there just long lining them, I'm unwinding the dog. A lot of these dogs come in and they're anxious or they're stressed or they're afraid. So it's really hard to teach a dog something and then have them retain it when they're in that frame of mind. So the best thing we can do is just let them go out and be a dog to some extent. And in that process, I'm just teaching them to turn with me or to recall in. And it just kind of sets a really good tone for what this relationship is going to end up being through direction versus through punitive measures or a lot of corrections. And I'm not really going after the main behavior in the beginning. What I found is that by doing a lot of this long lining and directional work, 95% direction, a lot of his behaviors start to fade off or they start to soften. So with Coco, the German Shepherd that it's in the video that follows this, is about 10-month-old Shepherd. And really sweet dog, really, really soft. And my client got her from a woman who got her as a puppy and lived in a single mother living in an apartment with a child. So my feeling is this dog got really good at nipping ankles, which is kind of a herding dog, sort of, that's kind of in their nature. But if this 7 to 12 weeks is a dog's permanent or long-term memory. So what we teach those dogs, what we expose them to in that 7 to 12 week time frame sticks really well. So if this dog at 7 to 12 weeks is learning it can use its teeth on people to herd them around, children and whatnot, it's what she learned. She can't be blamed for it because nobody was teaching her another way or another outlet. So in this video, I take her out into the yard and I'm purposely getting her to engage me in the play because I know the excitement's going to bring on the nipping, whether it's my arm or whether it's my feet. And I did this session with her once before, and it's pretty much the same. She's not going after my feet or my arm as intense, which it really wasn't very intense, but you'll see where I'm using now the e-collar because I've done all this e-collar foundation with her. I taught her a leave it command off benign things out here before I use the leave it for her touching me or thinking about touching me with her mouth. And the whole key here, even though I'm using a remote collar, I'm finding this level that's just enough that she will just push off of me, but she won't disengage and be afraid of me. So it's that fine balance there. And at one point, I had the level a little bit high, and I acknowledge it in the video, and then I had to kind of make up a little bit of ground by recalling her in. And so she wasn't afraid to go back into the game with me, right? So it's funny that I read an article, there was a study, and it was on relationships and the ratios of positive to negative things that are presented or said to one person or the other. And so what they found is if it was a 4-to-1 ratio, so there were 4 positive things delivered first and then a negative, that the negative could be brushed off pretty easily because it was kind of damped down with the 4 positives. So they found that when those ratios were maintained, that was a really strong relationship. And as the ratios started to switch from like a 3-to-1, 3 positives to 1 negative, 2-to-1, then the relationships started to fall apart or they weren't as strong. So I look at that, and you can apply that to friendships, you can apply that to business relationships, I can apply it to my client relationships. And so that when clients come up here, I'm very cognizant of thanking them for making the drive up here, and bringing their dog, and thank them for, you know, trusting me with their dog. And as much as I can put out that's positive before I address the negative things that I see in the dog that we need to work on, right? So it'd be kind of like if they pull up and I say, wow, your dog's fat and anxious, and thanks for coming up. It sets a weird precedence, right? So I feel this can, you know, I can relate that to the dogs just as well. So if I'm delivering a lot of positives and I build the relationship on a lot of positive things, long lining, letting the dog be a dog, that's very positive. Bring the dog back into me. If it lunges out after a rabbit, you know, it just comes on to the end of the long line. It creates its own pressure. I'm not applying a correction at that point, you know. So I feel that once I get into a point where now we're going to start applying like a leave it command, which is my correction, you know, the dogs, I don't have to use as much pressure. I don't have to be as firm. And the dogs don't seem to take it as personally as if I just was to grab the leash and start correcting the dog, right? And they've also known all these new behaviors that I wanted them to know. So whether it was to stay in the heel, whether it was the recall, whether it was to turn with me, you know, I immediately give them directions after that correction. So you'll see that I do that with Coco, where I'll correct her to leave it, and then I'll get her to engage back in the game again. So it's, you know, granted, corrections are needed in a good training strategy. I just don't believe in going straight to corrections to try and fix the behavior, because usually that behavior we're seeing is a side effect of something way down here that has built up over time, you know. So it only seems reasonable that if behavior A was built up by these small behaviors and it finally came to the, you know, to what we have, then it would make sense to fix that bad behavior. I would want to start with little behaviors that are good behaviors, and that's what the long line affords you to do. And that's why you'll see these behaviors kind of soften, or some just kind of start dropping off. So anyways, I apologize for some of the technical difficulties in this video. The camera just went out of focus for some reason, and but we got it all done, and I hope it helps, and thanks for watching. Leave it. Good girl. Let's go. Place. Oh, nice execution. Let's go. Good girl. Coco. Coco. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Leave it. Good. Coco. Place. So she's going there because I'm getting her overstimulated, and then I'm also having to correct her attempt. She's not connecting like she was, but I am giving her those leave-its for the attempt to either bite my arm or target my foot. But so that's what she does as a default. When she starts getting overstimulated, that's where she goes. Coco, let's go. But we're not so harsh that she doesn't want to still doesn't want to disengage. She still wants to engage. So that's the trick. Coco. Data girl. Oh my gosh, that's a little forward. Ready? And go. That's better. Place. Oh, so, you know, this is a little bit different than the leave it, but I can use leave it here if I don't want her to continue to bite it. Out. So it's a good opportunity to teach an out, right? So we always want to look for those teaching moments and to be aware. Good. Out. Thank you. When they present themselves, and capitalize on them. Get it. Haven't done any retrieving with her. Let's see if she brings it back. Coco. Coco. Good. Yep, we got some work to do there. Come here, Coco. That a girl. That a girl. Yeah, she likes to play keep away. Ah, place. Let's see. Let's see. This might work. She's so good on her place. Good. Good. Well done. Well done. Out. Get it. Coco. So we got to make sure that we got a good recall before we do this. Good. Place and a good place command. Well done. Well done. Yes. Down. Down. Good. Get it. Awesome. Let's go. Coco. That a girl. Place. There we go. So see, now we're finding a way to redirect the out. Let's go. Now I'm going to work on leave it here because she's riled up, but I got to work out here. Out. Good. That was a little too strong on the collar. Come on. So I want to invite her back in. Get in. And I'm going to adjust the level. That was only level 10 or 12. Good. I just want a nice soft release. Out. Just like that. Good girl. Get it. Good girl. Place. Oh, there we go. Out. Out. So what I'll do is get off. Let's go. Have her get off the place, and then I can work on her leave it. When she tries to leave it. Good. And again, I want to be careful that I don't have the levels too high. I'm going to actually turn it down to 6. Good girl. Coco. Let's go. And we'll get her back in the game. Place. Good. Down. Ready? Get it. So, little impromptu retrieving. Coco. That a girl. That a girl. Place. Well done. Well done. So there we go. So that's how we can incorporate leave it when it comes to playing with the retrieving bumper and leave it on people's ankles. One more. Get it. Place. Good. Well done.